Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is James Pecz. I am head of North America and Middle East for Ramtech Electronics, and I am here today with our Middle East exclusive distribution partner, Mimar, who have very kindly sponsored the event today. So thank you to them. Firstly, just to tell you a little bit about our business. So we are a safety and wireless technology company that specialize in wireless systems. And our vision and our way of thinking is all around shaping a safer world through innovation. And the product I'm going to be talking about today is exactly that. It's a completely wireless fire and evacuation system that is designed for temporary use in challenging and hazardous environments. So just to give you a little bit more information on our business. So we have been around for 35 years, specializing in wireless technology. We were formed in 1990. And since we released the WES system, which we're going to talk about now, we have sold over 450,000 WES units across 33 countries. And we are number one in the world globally at what we do in terms of providing temporary fire and evacuation protection for those challenging and hazardous environments. So this is the system, the WES system, the WES 3 system. It is a completely wireless network of fire safety, evacuation, and medical alarms that offer different types of protection for your construction project, for your manufacturing facility, for your marine facility. And I'll get a little bit later on more into some of the applications globally and also some of the projects we've worked on here in Saudi Arabia and across the Middle East. So these devices connect completely wirelessly. So everything you see here is battery powered and completely wireless. There are no power cables, no interconnecting cables required at all with our system. It's designed to be very, very easy to install, quick to deploy, easy to program, and easy to reuse and move around projects as the projects change. So the key components of the system, starting with the control panel. So this acts as your fire alarm panel for the WES system. You use this unit to program the rest of the units on site. You would give each unit an individual address using this control panel. If there was to be a fire, a medical alert, an evacuation of any kind, it would be reported on the control panel here, just like it would on a permanent fire alarm panel. This unit also has a SIM card installed, and it has the ability to send notifications via text message to 6 different people in the event of an alert. It also has the ability to send data to our application we have, which I'll talk about a little bit more in just a second. This is our completely wireless manual call point. So this gives you the ability to manually raise an evacuation on the site that this system is installed on. It also allows you to call for medical assistance. So this unit has a medical button. So if someone has an accident on the facility or on the site and they need to call for first aid assistance, they can press the medical button and that will send a message to the control panel to let you know that first aid is required at that location. This is designed to be very loud. It's designed to be installed in challenging and hazardous environments. So this is a 94 decibel sounder and also a flashing strobe light as well to give a clear notification, not only audibly via the horn, but also visually with the flashing strobe light as well. We have 2 types of detection that we offer with the WES system. We have heat detection. They're a fixed rate heat detector. But we also have, and more importantly, dust-resistant smoke detection. So as this system is installed in construction, in marine facilities, in manufacturing, we need to have a detection system that isn't going to be prone to false alarms caused by dust and dirt in these hazardous environments. So we have a dual optic, dual chambered dust-resistant smoke sensor, which allows you to have the early notification that a smoke alarm gives you without the risk of false alarms caused by dust and dirt. These can be installed around a project. They will wirelessly communicate through the mesh network to the control panel to give you instant notifications in the event of a fire taking place. We also offer an interface unit for fire. So if you wanted to wire our temporary wireless system into a permanent fire alarm panel, into a building management system, into a water monitor system, you can very easily do that with the interface. So the interface has inputs and outputs, so you can hardwire into that permanent panel to send a notification to that system if the West system activates. But you can also go out of the output into the panel so that if a permanent fire alarm system activates, it would notify the West system as well. So it allows you to have two-way communication with any panel that has an input or an output utilizing the interface unit. Something that is quite new to us at Ramtech at the moment is our new water interface. So the two biggest causes of insurance claims in construction globally are fire and water. So we've now incorporated a new water interface into our system that allows us to detect for the escape of water on your site. So we can offer water detecting cable or tape that plugs into the water interface, and in the event of the cable or tape coming into contact with any liquid, it will activate the interface and let you know via the control panel that you have escape of water in that particular area. So here are, I've mentioned some of these already, but some of the key benefits of the West system. So it is completely wireless. We have a 3-year battery life in every unit, and after 3 years, you can simply replace the battery, and then it's good to go for another 3 years. We have remote monitoring via the SIM card in the Connect, either via text message or via the app, which I'll tell you about in a second. This allows site-wide notifications. So if a fire detector on the system activates, all of those manual call points we showed earlier will immediately wirelessly activate via the flooded mesh radio network to give a site-wide notification. We have a secure, encrypted, and strong flooded mesh network, which gives reliability. At the end of the day, this is a life safety system. It's a fire alarm system, and we need to make sure it's going to activate in the event of an emergency. So we use flooded mesh technology, which means that all of these units have the ability to send and receive signals. So this creates a strong signal, but it also creates no single point of failure. Very, very simple and easy to set up. This is literally a plug and play system. Out of the box with a quick start guide, you can very quickly set up a network of units, install them around the project, and immediately have fire, evacuation, and medical protection for your facility literally within a few hours. It's reusable. So at the end of your project, this doesn't go in the skip, this doesn't go in the trash, this gets taken to your next project with you. So commercially, it's a very viable system because you buy it once, but you can use it multiple times over a number of years. We have the first aid assistance that I mentioned with the medical call point, the water detection, and the cloud notifications as well. So cloud notifications go into our React application. So React allows you to receive enhanced notifications from the West system in the event of an emergency. We can do things like upload your site plans into React and grid reference where your alarms are so that in the event of an activation, React will actually give you a visual diagram of the site and a flashing beacon of exactly where on the project the fire is initiated from. On top of that, React also has the ability to act as a standalone health and safety application for your facility or construction project. We have the ability to raise things like fire alarms, maintenance alerts, SOS, hazard reporting. I could literally stand here for an hour and talk about this. I'm not going to do that. but ultimately there are a whole abundance of other features React offers on top of just reporting WES activity. So going on to how the system works, so the React system has two aspects. It has the mobile application, but it also has the web portal. So if you were to have a number of sites or a number of facilities with React acting as a safety application, you could have a master account that would give you visibility of all of your projects, all of the alerts, all of the WES notifications at a centralized point. So you can manage all of your sites from one location. Typical applications for our WES system are what we see here on the screen across the world. Our biggest industry we work in is construction. Our biggest customer over the past 18 months in terms of the end user with the WES system is actually the US Navy. So when the US Navy bring their ships into dry dock for refurbishments, for upgrades, for repairs, they bring them into dry dock and the power on the ship is deactivated. That leaves the permanent fire alarm system on there not working. So they're now utilizing WES as a temporary measure while the ship's in dry dock to offer fire protection while those repairs and upgrades are taking place. The system is used because it's very easy to deploy. There's no wires, there's no cabling. Literally each unit is fixed to the wall with 2 screws. We've seen a huge use for this in historical buildings as well, because it can be installed with minimal disruption. 2 screws, we're not going to start damaging, drilling walls, running cables, very quick to deploy with minimal damage left behind. Manufacturing, we see this used frequently for things like if you have a facility with a permanent fire alarm, but then out in the yard you have storage areas, you have outbuildings that aren't protected with the permanent fire system. WES can be installed wirelessly in those areas and then interfaced into the permanent fire alarm panel for the main building. So it allows you to link those 2 systems together and offer protection in areas where currently you may not have it. We've done a lot with the rail networks, particularly in the UK, for the HS2 line, offering evacuation over long distances with our flooded mesh network. And also, we've been on a number of airports across the world during construction of new terminals and things like that. Because the system is encrypted, it can be utilized even in things like airports where there's a high volume of radio traffic. The encrypted nature of our system allows it to be secure and not interfere with external frequencies. And to finish off, just a few examples of some of the projects we've done here in the Middle East over the past few years. So I mentioned historical buildings. We were installed in the basement of the Grand Mosque in Abu Dhabi during refurbishment works there last year. We were used on 78 projects at Expo 2020, and the system was actually specified in the health and safety standards for use during construction. At NEOM, we've now installed a number of systems in different applications, and it has also been added into their health and safety standards as well, that an EN54 compliant wireless detection and evacuation system should now be used in all construction moving forwards. So this has been used on temporary accommodation facilities at NEOM. As you'll be aware, there's a huge number of accommodation facilities out in the desert housing thousands of workers. The WES system is perfect to be quickly installed to offer fire protection and evacuation in those temporary accommodation facilities. And because it's designed for challenging and hazardous environments, it's well suited to those harsh desert conditions where you're going to get a lot of sand, a lot of dust, a lot of dirt, a lot of heat. The system is more than capable of matching up to those environments. Recently installed a system on the Dammam Stadium during the build of the new stadium there for fire protection, for also evacuation as well. And they're utilizing the React app as well that I mentioned as a health and safety application system on the project. And finally, I've got a little asterisk at the side of the Kingdom Tower because we are at the very final stages of working with the consultants and the contractor there. The system has now been approved for use there. The consultants are recommending that the contractor moves forward. We're just in the final stages of agreeing the amount of units and the schedule of install. But ultimately, for us, we're very proud to be being installed on what will be the tallest building in the world when it's completed. I was there a few weeks ago. We did some great on-site testing, and the team and the consultants are very excited to be able to offer this level of protection and to show the rest of the world that even on these huge projects that are globally famous, they're going the extra mile now to protect the building, but also to protect the people and the workers on there, which is a fantastic message to be sending out, that these technologies are available and they're being used to protect projects across the Middle East. Thank you very much.